Have you ever had one of those moments where it feels like your whole world is just falling apart? Where everything you've planned, everything you've hoped for, just seems to crumble into dust? What if I told you that the biggest, most incredible turning point of your entire life might be hiding right inside that exact moment of collapse? It sounds crazy, right? But the story of a young man named Joseph, thousands of years ago in ancient Egypt, proves that what looks like the absolute end can actually be the very beginning of something truly extraordinary. Let's dive into this. Joseph was just a teenager, a dreamer. He had these incredible, vivid dreams that pointed to a future far bigger than his current reality. But these dreams, this vision he carried inside him, made others uncomfortable. It made them jealous. And because of that vision, the unthinkable happened. He was betrayed by his own brothers, the people who should have protected him. They sold him like an object into slavery. He was violently ripped from his home, from his family, from everything he had ever known, and dragged to a foreign land, Egypt, where he knew no one and had nothing. Now, let's be real. At this point, most of us would probably give up. We'd be filled with anger, with bitterness, with a desire for revenge. And who could blame us? Joseph had every right to let his heart grow hard, to curse his fate, to surrender to despair. But he didn't. This is where his story takes a powerful turn. Joseph made a choice. He chose to hold on to his integrity, to stay faithful to his purpose, even when life was brutally unfair. He decided that his circumstances would not define his character. So, when he found himself as a slave in the house of Potiphar, a high-ranking Egyptian official, he didn't just go through the motions. He didn't just do the bare minimum. No, he worked with such excellence, with such integrity and skill, that soon he was put in charge of Potiphar's entire household. Everything thrived under his care. But then, disaster struck again. He was falsely accused of a terrible crime he did not commit and thrown into a dark, damp prison. From the head of a great household to the bottom of a dungeon. It's another moment where anyone would just break. But even in prison, Joseph's character shone through. He didn't become a cynic. He didn't lose his faith. He kept his integrity. He served others. And soon enough, the prison warden put him in charge of all the other prisoners. Think about that for a second. In the silence of that dungeon, in the darkness where no one was watching, where there was no applause, no recognition, no earthly reward, God was at work. He was shaping Joseph, preparing him, positioning him for his ultimate promotion. Every trial, every setback, was a training ground. And then, when the time was perfect, the moment finally came. Through a series of divinely orchestrated events involving the dreams of the Pharaoh himself, Joseph was summoned from the dungeon. And that young man, the one who was rejected by his family, sold as a slave and forgotten in a prison, stood before the most powerful ruler in the world, and, with wisdom from God, interpreted his dreams and laid out a plan that would save the entire nation from a catastrophic famine. In an instant, his life was transformed. He was elevated from prisoner to prime minister, second in command over all of Egypt. The rejected dreamer became the rescuer of nations, the very one who would eventually save the same family that had betrayed him. Before we go any further, I want you to take a moment and think about your own life. What is the Egypt you're facing today? What's that challenge, that betrayal, that difficult situation that feels like a prison? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story, because we're all in this together. And hey, if you're getting value from this and you're not subscribed yet, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We have so much more powerful content like this coming your way, and I don't want you to miss out. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Joseph's incredible journey from the pit to the palace teaches us a profound truth. No difficult season in your life is final. It's not the end of your story. That period of waiting that feels like a frustrating delay, it might actually be divine protection, shielding you from something you're not yet ready for. That painful rejection that left you feeling worthless, it could be a redirection, pushing you onto a path you never would have found on your own. And that valley you're walking through right now, the one that feels so low and so dark, it may very well be the necessary pathway that leads directly to the palace of your destiny tomorrow. Your story isn't over. Your dreams aren't dead. Don't give up. Not now. Your purpose is still alive. And like Joseph, you're being prepared for something greater. Thanks for watching.